Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Headspace Podcast. It's episode 68. My name is HSR.
And my name is Chris Chrome. I just want to say welcome to the new setup. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Chris just got here.
So I'm really excited to try it out and see what it comes out to be.
Special thanks to Sydney for helping me move the couch out of this room. It was not the easiest thing to do.
No.
But yeah, so before we get into the episode, we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping. We're going to start with, as you can see now, our favorite comment from last week. By our, I mean mine. It's from Blake Wan. I love this. And this was on our Tech 9 Planet review. And he says, especially on the not a damn thing argument. It's like for the first time, somebody's like, yeah, y'all argued and I liked it. So already we're off to a good start, in my opinion. He's like, lol, I think you all made valid points. It's very hard for me to say who won that, but still fun to watch. Sorry, reading this off my phone, getting used to this. Normally I'm in front of the computer screen. Now it's behind me. We're getting used to the new room. But yeah, as you can see, we've got the new setup. We're trying to have better sound. We've got this third mic here so that when we do have three people in the room next, everyone will sound balanced. We can fix it a little bit after. Things are looking up is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I might not look as much at you, Mr. Camera. I'm going to try and talk to Chris, make it a little more personal, you know? On that note, in the description of the video, you will find the start of the episode, which I don't know if I've said yet, and you will also find a link to the request list, which will be updated shortly. Take some time. We've been doing some other stuff, but I'm going to keep it updated because we do have the Grind to 1,000 Subscribers contest happening.
Yes, we do.
How that works is if you subscribe to the channel, you leave a like on the video, and you comment below something related to the video, to us, to the artist, something to the album, you know, just something to contribute to the conversation. A good pro tip is to skip to the middle, listen for like a few minutes, and comment on a specific song. If you're trying to like fake it a little bit, it's better than just the generic blah blah blahs that come in. Just so it's like better for the comments and stuff. I'm trying to make it more engaging for anyone coming. That still counts. And if you do that, you enter into a raffle where first prize is $100 of Amazon gift money. Plus, you can request a review of something, and you can pick who on the channel does the review. Second prize is $50 plus a review. Third prize is $25 plus the review. All of this is Amazon gift card money. Once we break 1,000 subscribers, we're going to go on YouTube Live with that comment list, use a random number generator, pick some people. I'll get in touch with you, send you it all. Easy peasy. It's an email. Boom. And then everything's good.
Well, just to be clear, everything's in USD currency. Make sure that's out there.
Or your equivalent. Like if you're in Canada, we'll do a conversion rate on that day and boom, send you the whatever Canadian amount. But for every other video of ours that you go back, you like, you leave an extra comment on, you end up getting extra entries into the raffle.
Yep.
And so if you can help us, we're willing to help you, and that's how life should work. On that note, we are here to talk about a particular album. So to start our show, Mr. Christopher, why don't you introduce the album that we are talking about today?
Well, Holden, for this week's Headspace album, we decided to go with Lil Yachty's brand new album, Lil Boat 2.
Yeah. Since
Well,
I just
actually,
talked for
it's a
a while.
mixtape.
I don't care. It's on Spotify, mixtape album, whatever.
Okay.
The other option for this week was Logic. I'll be honest with y'all. And I'll let Chris talk soon, but I started Logic and I realized that I expect a certain thing from Logic, and it started with a Rick and Morty skit about how like Logic's albums are whatever, but his mixtapes is where he gets turned. And then it went into the first track, and I realized at least I expect that from Lil Yachty. And like I wouldn't have been nice to Logic, and then I imagine that the people watching would have been another Rich review. And I don't know that my heart would have been in that review. However, with Lil Yachty, I don't know, like I have a curiosity, which I'll get into. Why don't you start and talk a little bit about how you like Lil Yachty and all that other stuff?
So liking Lil Yachty is a little bit of an exaggeration. I don't particularly listen to him. I don't really follow him at all. We did do that Teenage Emotions review.
That is something we did
when it came out. Look, I didn't know what to expect exactly from Lil Boat 2. We didn't do Lil Boat 1. I didn't check it out, so I wasn't really like, I kind of went blind into this. I understand that Lil Boat is like the rapper side of Lil Yachty, and Lil Yachty's more of that like happy-go-lucky side. I want to say.
I got the same impression from our comment section on that last video.
Right. So I was expecting more of a rapper, darker, trappier feel. And I mean, as we go throughout the album, we will break down and discuss what exactly it is we feel, and we'll see at the end of the album.
That's fair. I feel like if I don't make the effort to listen to something like a Lil Boat 2, I might take the time to try to find the value in it. I really shouldn't do this reviewing thing or make music or do anything that I'm trying to do with my life. And I feel like there's something about a guy like Lil Yachty. I don't have to necessarily like everything he represents or what he does, but I should be willing to like give it the listen. And I find that these days with a guy like Lil Yachty, I remember the last time we had this review, it was about a year ago, and we were discussing how the term mumble rap was kind of not the best term, because what these guys do is their own little subgenre, kind of like how LMFAO is party rock and whatever.
They created their own lane in a sense.
Yeah, so it's not really comparable against, like, tomorrow we're going to be talking about Scarface. And if you think about the lyricism and intensity of something like Scarface and compare it against the Lil Yachty experience, it's like, how do you make that comparison? They're not even in the same lane. They're not the same thing at all. So when I thought about that, I got into like whatever Lil Yachty mode. So I assume you're supposed to be a little bit turned, you're supposed to be having a good time, you're supposed to be vibing out. You know, it's party music. It's not like the most lyrical shit is what I'm trying to say. So I just tried to remember that a little bit going into this, whereas other people, the lyrics are really dope and the beats I'm kind of like, I feel like this side of music is the opposite. The beats are fantastic, but the lyrics and the other stuff is whatever. So I suppose the dream would be dope beats, great lyricists coming out now, and we've had a couple of great examples of people who've been doing some cool shit lately. But still, Lil Yachty is like, he's one of those names that everybody loves to shit on. So I feel like,
well, it's not.
For me at least, it's a little bit of does Lil Yachty deserve the reputation that Lil Yachty has earned? Is my curiosity.
Okay. Well, you basically just answered anything I was about to ask, so we can just move on with it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can let us know if you check out this album. If you're a big Lil Yachty fan, you can let us know why you like him. If you don't like him, I'm also curious about that. I know that your opinions are awesome, and it's cool to help me better shape mine in the future.
Well, clearly he is doing something that's working, though.
Well, he's definitely making money and selling stuff and has a following. Like, it's not like he's doing poor. He has this... I like his album cover, I'm not going to lie. If you just want to move into that. Lil Boat 2, whatever. His second alter ego EP, not much doing there. It's just, I guess, a continuation of the first one. But then that album cover is so cool. He's just standing there in, like, water, half full. Like, you see half of him, no shirt, whatever. He's just there. This orange, like, background, and you can... it's just got
like the
this
sun
certain...
setting a little bit.
Yeah, it's got, like, this pretty aesthetic to it that really, like, catches your eye, and... Maybe it's not the best album cover in the world, but at least it's got a certain color scheme to it that fits his hair and everything. It's pretty cool. I don't hate it at all, is what I'm trying to say. What about you? You like it?
I think it's I don't really think anything spectacular of it. I mean, it's just him standing in the ocean, in the lake, or whatever. He's got his chains on. He's kind of just looking out in the distance. I think there's like this. I think there's supposed to be like a representation of being alone and trying, like, being himself, being unique, but as well also kind of like looking towards the future, like kind of looking in the distance, seeing what's out there. I mean, if you want to take just a moment to think about like the ocean, right? Like, it's a very vast place. It's a very wide. You don't really know what's around you. You don't really know what expectations or opportunities lie when you go onto the seas. So. I think that also is part of, and I mean, he's also named Lil Yachty, Lil Boat. It also plays into with his little, right. But I mean, the album cover itself, it is what it is, but I don't think it's like a rememberable one. I think that it's some that once I put it on the shelf, I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, I've heard Lil Boat too, but nah,
I just think that the orange is really nice.
It is a good color scheme.
Anyway, Lil Yachty self-made. Let's do it.
She gon' let me fuck, she like that Lil Boat ad-lib. And we ad.
All right, Chris, why don't you talk to us a little bit about this self-made song?
Well, first off, it is a nice little intro to the album. I like the piano in it. I like the little dash of chimes, how it starts off. And then you kind of just write off. Lil Yachty starts in and he starts addressing the various things that make him great. He bought his mom a crib. He moved out, bought his mom a crib.
Oh, come on. It's made it up my mama crib, then bought my mom's a crib. Bought myself a chain, kept it short because I ain't jibs. I don't know if y'all remember that Jibs song. If your chain hang close, does it wobble to the floor? Anyway, that was a cool line. It just kind of made me feel like that was the music.
They got turned into so many jokes, though.
But it's like you could just get the feeling that this was what was popping when he was like 12 or 13 or some shit like that. And like for him, it's a fresh reference, whereas I never think about it ever.
Fair enough. But I like when he goes, and you keep asking me when we're going to do a song. I keep telling you soon. He doesn't really he seems like he's not really bothered by anybody right now. He's kind of just doing his own thing. He wants to work on his own grind. The song itself is good. It's a good little intro, but I felt like he seemed bored on it. I felt like there was no energy in the song. I felt like his vocals were a little bit lacking that emphasis on certain things. I mean, you get this like positive, upbeat like vibe from the instrumental, but I just felt like he was just like, yeah, I'm just doing it. Whatever. This is kind of what it is. Overall, like I said, I like the groove of the song, but I just don't feel like Yachty really wanted to kind of do that. I gave it a 3.5 on 5.
That's fair. I thought it was a pretty cool start, right? Like, I mean, he's reaffirming the fact that he was self-made and that he has accomplished some stuff. Now, if I recall correctly from Teenage Emotions, what we understood about Yachty is he had made a lot of money and the world was hating on him and he was relatively confused. So it's good to see that not a lot has changed in the world of Lil Yachty. He has made more money. People are still hating and he is still generally not so certain why people are hating on him, which I gotta give it to Yachty at this point. This is possibly like the most non-offensive fucking guy in hip hop, in my opinion. Like you watch him in interviews, he's super swell. He's always smiling. He just does his music and it does well, and that makes people unhappy. Unless I'm mistaken, that is the definition of like a hater as far as like people are concerned. So
I mean, I think people are just hating on what he kind of is, not so much the music. I mean, they can't do what he's doing.
It's the representation of the changes he makes to hip hop, which is kind of unfair. Like he's just doing his thing, and based on the idea of go out there, get money, be successful, he did it. He did it in a way people didn't like. I believe that's called paving your way. And then there's a certain irony to the way how he lives is so hip hop, in light of the fact that maybe his music might come off however it comes off. I don't think I'm quoting a lot of lyrics up in this review. There aren't many that were interesting to me, but also I took it with a grain of salt. You know, I'm not supposed to be like expecting lyricism, so I look at like a song breakdown a little bit. Like there's the lyrics, the flow, the beat, there's parts of it. Now Yachty's flow, I know that you found him a little bored and lackluster, but I felt him like this nonchalance, this like grace of I can come through here and I just don't really so much care. You know, like he doesn't care. Like he's doing like this, and if you think about it, it's like he doesn't have to care, which is a little bit funny because he wrote a song proving he kind of cares, but the way he delivered that flow I enjoyed. The beat I really enjoyed. The lyrics were whatever. I liked when he went, I'm going to keep rocking these chains while they keep calling me coon. I don't know if I'm allowed to say coon or not, but it was in the line here. And I thought that was cool because like it's almost like, from what I understand, that specific term is like when people are playing into certain stereotypes or negative things, almost like a buffoon. Like they're not respected for the way they make their money, so they get hated on. But he's just like, I'm gonna keep doing what I do and make my money, and I can't like hate where he's coming from. Like I just think that this is a guy who has gone out there and got his. That's what this song is. He's clearly doing well. It's got a certain degree. I gave it a 4. It's got a nice like little flow to it. It's definitely not a boring song. Like if this came on when you're faded at 2 in the morning, you'd be like, dancing around, enjoying your
But I got-
vibes and stuff, you know?
But I got a question though.
What?
Would you say it's boom though?
Oh.
I'm saying you're stressed out, you know what I'm saying? Stressed out when you get no money.
So while Chris was just grabbing water, the little robot's getting turned on the table. He's got his fist in the kind of like that position. I don't know how well it shows up on the TV. So yeah, we have a table. I'm really happy. We might just put stuff on it because we can, and this is a lot better than a couch. I'm sorry, we're supposed to be talking
It
about
helps
Boom.
expand our headspace. If you can say that.
I guess, yeah, we're supposed to be talking about Boom. Go on, Chris.
But first off, I do like this beat a little bit more. It has more of that trappy-ish vibe. It's got the drums. It's got the kicks. It's really into it. And then we get right into the song. And honestly, all I really got from it was don't touch Yachty's chains and don't touch you gods' money. Essentially, don't fuck with their riches. They're kind of just going out and saying, like, if you touch with their money, if you fuck with their money, they're going to have to do their business. They're going to have to take care of you the ways that they can. First verse, we got you, God. He seems to be connected. He knows people who's gonna shoot for him, who's gonna rob for him if he has to. He's well into the streets. I like when he goes, I don't miss shots, but my chopper got aim. Old money, but it don't walk with a cane. VVS diamonds, just talk to chain. Yeah, I beat her back out. It got knocked out of the frame. Fuck my old whip, had to cop me a range. And you can tell, like, he's just kind of spitting hard bars and just being like, look, I'm gonna take this girl, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, I'm gonna buy myself a Range Rover, switch it up from the old car to the new one, and he never misses shots. So he's got that like gangster feel to him, that like, you know, I'm ready to bust off when ready to go. I liked when Lil Yachty said bank on Lemony Snicket. Lil Yachty takes the second verse.
Hold on. I just want to comment again. It's just another sign of like this new era of references and jargon almost entering. Like, I didn't really grow up with it. It's not something that I'm used to. You don't hear that in like older rhymes. That's like because he's that age. This is now in the lexicon. Anyway.
Yeah. So that was cool, but I also like I read the annotation and I wanted to understand what he was using it for, and I liked how we came across the same thing, because when you think about the Lemony Snicket and his famous series of unfortunate events novels, or even like the episodes on Netflix or the show or the movie, it's basically about a group of orphans who have a lot of money. So to even go and to think about that, it was like, okay, he made that connection based on a plot of a story. That was really cool to me. And then I don't really like these bars, but I like how he flowed it. Chopstick, oh, get beat up in the mosh pits. Yeah, leave up lumpy like cheese grits.
Hold on. I have to interject because I quoted that. How amazing is it that he just threw in cheese grits?
It is great.
And then?
Dick about as long as 4 fish sticks.
Oh.
Middle finger to a cop, racist pig, then suck on my cock, and that's when I stopped there.
And then big rocks off inside of my watch. That's not a Rolex. That's a
swatch.
Hold on, anyway, go on. Yeah, finish what you were gonna say about that.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I didn't want to run off onto the line too much.
About like what?
I just like how he spit it. I like how he floated. I like how the pace and how
I like the random fucking political line in the middle of all that. Like, it's silly, it's turn up, and it's political in 4 bars. And I do appreciate how all over the place this dude is. Anyway, yeah.
Fair enough. I do find that there is heavy energy on Boom. So I gave it a 4 on 5.
I like where it goes in that little car. It go fast, and that little car, it goes zoom. I don't know. There's just on a Lil Boat album. That's funny, right? Like, I just something about that. That little bitch got a fat ass, and that little bitch to the room. Like, it's just so, like, what he's saying is ridiculous. And
but it's
like,
also true.
But it flows. And it's got an energy to it. And that's what I have to remember. Now, the first time I heard this song, I hated this song. That boom, 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 boom. It really got on my nerves.
I find that gave it life. I find that that's the energy I was looking for on the first track.
So my like second time after, like, it slept on it. The next day it came. I listened to it again. it grew on me. It's very much a context song. It's totally not just casual listening, in my opinion. Like it's gotta have the right headphones, it's gotta have the right effect. You gotta be in the vibe for that. But when you are, it flows so well. I don't think I've ever heard Ugly God rap before.
He's not Ugly God, it's You God.
Or is it?
Yep.
Isn't You God like from fucking Wu-Tang Clan? And
Pretty sure
this
says
is
You God.
Pretty sure this is the Ugly God, like the guy with the
you're
booty,
right. No,
the
you're
booty
right.
tapes.
You're right. I may have just made a typo. You're right.
Because that would have been a completely different conversation to be having now.
Yes, I am so sorry.
So yeah, I've never heard Ugly God before, so that was a first. He's all right. I noticed that Yachty's a little versatile, and we'll get into that more on the album, and I think that's part of his charm. But this song, it was a 4.25. It had a really good energy. It had a decently well-made beat, and what I like to do is, when I actually do my review, is listen to the songs twice in a row. And part of that is because if after like 7-8 minutes of like the same beat, how do you feel about that, right? Does it get annoying? Or like you have like a J Dilla where it's just like this vibe for like 30 minutes straight, the same sample, and it's just beautiful, but then other beats are not. So I kind of look at it for that a bit. This one really did well for me, and so 4.25.
Nice.
And next is Oops.
Diamonds like the rap of a butterfinger. Hit him, then my brother follow up. That's a double stinger. Told the bitch true, she run around like a jet.
Chainz.
So, yeah, this is Oops. We got 2 Chainz on here, and
K $sign I'm Supreme. Go on.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't really feel this track. I like 2 Chainz. I kind of expect a certain type of like style from 2 Chainz. But honestly, I didn't get what I was getting from expecting 2 Chainz to be on this track. That's my first thing. 2, Lil Yachty didn't really say anything noteworthy to me on this track. It was just a lot of I've got diamonds. I got like a speeding ticket. I got 2 speeding tickets in a month. I like to share my money with my friends. I'm looking out for the fam. So it was just like, okay, you know, there wasn't really anything different, anything really spectacular. And then expecting, you know, me, I do enjoy 2 Chainz and a lot of his music that he makes. Expecting something to actually be noteworthy, no. He's talking about money and then proceeds to explain how he is sleeping with this girl and she's trying to sabotage his relationship.
May I ask where you found 2 Chainz overly noteworthy in general?
I liked some of his. I liked Boats too. I liked some songs off of Boats too.
In general, though, 2 Chainz is a wordplay guy. That's what he does. Go on, please.
Right. But I just didn't. I wasn't impressed with anything on this track itself. So I just left it at a 3 on 5.
I'm just gonna comment a little bit on part of what Chris said. He's not necessarily wrong. If you are coming to this album looking for it to speak to you, you're going to hate it. And I think that's the problem a lot of people throw on this genre. Like, it's a lot of repetition. Like, if you think about it, one of the running jokes and part of the Migos' popularity is how limited they are in their choice of subject matter. Like, there's, like, memes of, like, a minute and a half straight of I got the bag bars, you know? Like, but that's kind of part of their charm. So I'm not, you don't put on Migos to, like, stimulate your noggin, you know? In the same way, I'm not looking for that out of Yachty. I expect some comical, quirky lines, honestly, I expect nonsense as far as like teaching me anything. What I'm looking for is a little bit the flow, the feel of the song. So the beat is amazing. This is one of the best beats on the album. And the way Yachty's versatility, and he comes in and he's just completely new here. It's almost like he knew 2 Chainz was on the track, so he a little bit became 2 Chainz to be on the track. And a lot of people might hate that in an artist, but I think it's really cool, and it shows that Yachty is more than just this dopey singer guy and more than just he's got multiple flows. That's what I'm trying to convey here. And so he's basically a whole new person. It's like a whole new Yachty's appeared. Maybe this is the Boat voice. I don't really know him that well. But in general, there's not a whole lot of lyrics that I liked, but I did like Live from the Block, Shine in the Dark, Grind a la carte, Time on the Clock, Can't Get It Back, Where You At, Sold So Many Z's, Can't Take a Nap. Because 2 Chainz is a wordplay guy, right? And it's not like this is the greatest thing in the world, but it just flows so well. And at the end of the day, I really, my favorite part is sold so many Z's, you know? can't take a nap. That's hilarious because, you know, catching Z's is taking a nap. That's clever. And that's what I'm looking for a little bit. So sometimes it's not really about is the guy being Socrates on the frickin' track. It's sometimes like how clever are they with their words or how is their flow. Now, 2 Chainz has clever wordplay with the flow. Not really enhanced my experience. The oops, oops, oops thing was a little silly, a little fun. That chorus was like, whoopsies. It was like a little bit of a fun, whoops, she slipped and fell on my dick, and then my friend's dick, and then my friends all passed her around, and whoopsies, alley-oop. I mean, like, I don't know. The song hit me really well. It's not like I'm going to really come back and jump on it at the first chance, but say this came on, I could see myself getting into a little bit. I give it a 4.5 on 5. I thought it's one of the nicest tracks on the album.
Nice.
So why don't you talk to me nice, baby? Not Chris. I'm saying Bonnie, wherever she is.
White bitch, but I call her Coco. 10 so dark out in front of the photo. 20 years old on 12 ounce in.
Who's ready for some Migos action? Quavo, go.
So I enjoy this beat. I enjoy this beat a little bit better than the previous one. And this song starts off with Quavo and Yachty expressing how they feel towards people disrespecting them in the sense they feel like people should talk nice to them for all the hard work they've done and where they're located in their status right now, making the money. And then they just kind of go and do their verses. Now, again, Lil Yachty proceeds to explain like why he feels that people should talk nice to him with the amount of cars and the money he's got and the jewelry, and putting in all this effort. And he doesn't understand why people kind of treat him the way they're treating him. I like when he goes, 20 years old, I'm 12 M's in.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah, it's just, look, say what you will. If a dude can hit 12 M's by 20... whatever you got to say, I don't know he's listening so well.
Yeah, yep. Full respect. Like I said, full respect to it. That is showing hard work and dedication, and I can respect that. But that is really the only like hardest thing that I heard on his verse, personally for me. And then we got Quavo, and unfortunately, he virtually said nothing.
He's Quavo.
Like, yeah. I know I've sat here and defended Migos and like tried to hype them up.
Even if you think about what I just said, it's Quavo. You see Quavo's name, don't expect profound brilliance.
No, of course. So he just does what he does, and that's it, basically. And then the third verse, you have Lil Yachty kind of just dropping a little shout out to the Migos, shout out to the Quality Control Group, and kind of just repeats the same thing he said in the first verse, still kind of validating why people should talk nice to him and treat him with respect. The song's not bad. Both artists, Quavo and Yachty, both like have their own flair, have their own style. It's nice to listen to. The beat's better than the previous one, so I like it. But it's staying at a 3.9 on 5.
Yeah, so Lil Yachty, Rich. Another thing that's interesting is, like, I do like when he goes, is Yachty bitch? Can you tell me who's flyer? I mean, I can think of a couple people. I think Uzi might be a little flyer.
Based on what, though?
I like him better, and I think he looks cooler. And they have similar hair color style things, so it's a fair ballpark to put them in. Like, Uzi just looks like he goes in, and Yachty looks like he's going to go knitting. But read about me, bitch. I'm in the Esquire. Fair. That's actually an accomplishment. QC, the label, the Empire, Young, Rich, I inspire, and I need that. Never ask no one for feedback. And I appreciate where he's coming from. He's like, I don't really want your opinion. I'm out there doing this. I got all these things that I need that I'm accomplishing. Fuck your opinion. And I don't hate where he's coming from. Yeah, just to defend Quavo, he did do a pretty conscious verse on Black Man by T.I., but in general, yeah, he comes in, and I just like the idea, talk to him nice, and they'll be cool with you, giving them respect. That's what they're looking for from two dudes who are constantly shit on by the industry. Fun fact, and I'm pretty sure it's this song, but Yachty did an interview with Genius. I was just watching that, and he was saying how he wanted a short album. It was supposed to be 16 songs, but Mr. Quavo showed up at the last minute with his beat, sent it to him. It was quick. And then they threw this on literally a day or two before release. They had a final product, mix, mastered, everything, and then this got added. So for those of you who like fun facts, there's a fun fact for you.
Nice.
And if I'm wrong about this song, at least one of the songs, this is totally true about. I think the beat's all right. It felt like it could have been off a Culture 2 or something. So it felt like here's the Migos song. I felt like Yachty blended in well as a Migos. He could be like a fourth Migos if he really wanted to be. In general, the track it's okay. Like, we're starting to get to a point where I'm remembering that I like this stuff insofar as I like it, and on the album it's well placed, but the sound is like whatever. I gave it a 3.8. It's well made, but it's not overly interesting. Like, something like Oops had like a flair to it, or Boom had those cool effects in it. It was like, wow, something to like snag me in. This had Quavo as the hook of this, and I don't know. It's just not as nice as, like, I guess I could have done without this track a little bit, but it's not a bad one at all. There are definitely ones I like less than this on this album, and this isn't a decent one. So I'm just rambling, and you know what? Get your money, bros.
Yeah, yeah. Burn his ass out like a skillet. All that shit talking on.
About this one, Chris.
I like it. I like the dark trappy beat. I like the heavy drums. I like the little snare that goes. It was really nice. I like the back and forth between T Grizzly and Lil Yachty. They both kind of stand against each other at the same level. T Grizzly's a little bit more. He has like a deeper voice. He seems a little bit more gangster, I would say. Just like I guess if you're stereotyping, like he still has like Lil Yachty still's got that feel. One thing I really found clever, and I think I might just be overanalyzing it, is when Yachty said that pussy pretty, but I still gotta sniff it. And I find that was clever because it's like it could just be literally like, hey, you're a pretty girl, but I still want to make sure like you're not like, you know, been around or whatever it is. But also kind of like I took it as the beauty of something is like it kind of blinds you sometimes, so you got to make sure what the core is kind of like.
I honestly took it a little bit different. I think what you're saying might make more sense, but I took it like, as much as he loves the sight of the pussy, he really gets off on the smell of it, and so he really wants to get.
I mean,
it
could be that
whiff.
too.
Like he's trying to be the pussy monster,
but he's not. But he's not Wayne. So I thought it was really clever. Let me know what you guys think of that line. If you think I'm just overthinking it, or if it's just that simple.
I think it's a good point. But yeah, let us know. Don't. Anyway, go on.
Then, like I was talking about the first verse, Yachty's just breaking down how he has, like, again, various things, money, cars, he's sleeping with girls, he's doing what he's got to do. And if you fuck with his money, then they're going to have to take care of business, whether it's shoot you up, shoot you out, or do what they got to do. And then you got T Grizzly on verse 2, proceeds to explain where he's from, Detroit. He's trying to make money, and he's breaking down what he's got. Again, it just really sounds like a lot of hard bars, and I could understand it. I could understand that coming from, I guess maybe not so much or maybe nothing, to having what you have now at such a young age. Yeah, this is what you would be rapping about. So I completely get it. And then we've got third verse. Lil Yachty continues with the whole "I'm getting money, I've got diamonds, I'm dicking this girl down, doing what I gotta do." And then again, fourth verse, T Grizzly comes in, more gangster feel, and it's just kind of that throughout the back and forth throughout the entire song. It's really great. I do like. Give me a second here. I like when T Grizzly goes, "My Uber acting so janky right now, bro. Come pick yo bitch up. My shit ain't working. Yo, pull up to tip on my headshot. You then gotta pick your shit up." And I was like, okay, so he's connected to Tip T.I. That was really cool. Other than that, I gave it a 4 on 5.
Yeah, I do think the idea of how audacious it is, like, yeah, my Uber's not feeling right. You know what? Just pick up your own girl. I'm done with her. I mean, that was pretty hard. This song is definitely a step up in terms of quality. The beat has a better energy to it. T Grizzly's pretty sick next to Yachty. It's kind of like a yin and a yang to style that balance out super well. I do like that line that you quoted from Yachty, but what I really thought was an interesting one, and I believe it's T Grizzly, when he goes, "We ain't co-signing no rats, talking to the cops, only time these state facts." And I'm like, oh, get it? Because the only time these people even tell the truth is when they're snitching. And the way he put it like that was really, really cool. And he follows it up with "Leave brains in his laps. He was driving, chopper put him in the back." And it's kind of like knowing that he's a snitch and he's laid it out like that and he's surrounded about his fake stuff, and to follow it up like he's just like that. I really appreciated the artistry in that.
But like it also shows it's funny because we always hear a lot of like, you know, the new rappers don't really know much about hip hop or stuff like that, or they're kind of in their own lane. But it kind of seems like they also know the G code, like don't snitch, Be careful who you're talking
to. Some of them
to.
seem to know it, not all of them. And I think that it's funny. Like, if you really listen to this track here, it could have come out of like 94 off of like Nas's album. Not the quality or the sound or the wordplay, but the theme and the subject matter is something that we have seen on repeat.
The journalism a bit.
No, but the part where they're saying, we seen the real stuff and y'all seem to be spitting. You studio rappers, we not. And I like how for literally forever, it just seems to be an ongoing theme. I give this one a 4.3. It's a pretty solid song. If it came on, I'd vibe to it in the right context. But a lot of my feelings are, if it came on in the right context, I would say, count me in.
Please, touch my riches, you'll get stitches. You think talk is cheap? I've been flexing for a while.
So this seems to be Lil Uzi. The way I took
Lil
it,
Yachty.
My bad. Whoa. The way I took it was Lil Yachty. Kind of just was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in the booth. I'm a little turned. I'm just gonna spit a verse. And that's pretty much what this is. It's just one little long verse and then a chorus at the end of it. The beat's good. It's got a nice little groove to it. It's got a nice little hop and skip to it. I like when he goes, that shit goes skirt, skirt. She eat nut like a burger. She said it's sweet. She said it's sweet just like nectar. I'm like, that's a pretty clever line about
How is it clever? How is that clever? I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I heard. That's why it was noteworthy.
I'm trying to be nice.
I'm not saying bad. Please, internet. I said it's ridiculous. That's not a negative thing. It's just, it kind of is what it is. Tell me she eat not like a burger. I have never heard that before. It's not an expression in my life. So it's funny to think about it. Just picturing a good old cheeseburger and sperm. Like, that is a comparison I'm just not like ever heard. Maybe it's the mayo. And she said it's sweet. It's sweet just like nectar. So the mayo on your burger, like, it's like, how does this work? It doesn't, but it sounds good, you know?
Fair enough. Yeah, other than that, it just sounds like he's just spitting straight bars, the same type of things that he'd be rap about. I gave it a 4 on 5. I do like the intensity, the energy he put into it. The mixing of the vocals wasn't so like distorted. The beat was great. 4 on 5.
Yeah, this is more of like a kind of upbeat, punchy, like he's coming in. He's more of a rapper on this than he is more of an auto-tune guy. And he really is just doing his verse. And he's getting, you know what I'm seeing is as he's getting older, he is developing more skill. Like this is more lyrical. Not to say it's great in terms of lyricism, but it's more lyrical than the last project we reviewed by him. I don't know. I gave it a 3.75. It's got like a good vibe to it, but for something like this, I want substance to the lyrics generally. So I appreciate that he can do it on a technical front. And I'm certain that if you're into this styled lyrics, this is what you turn up to. It's pretty dope. But I'd rather turn up to DMX or something like that personally. So it's hard for me to love this song, but I do think it's well made. Anyway, She Ready is the next one on this album.
She thinks she ready for this life, yeah. You really think you're ready for this?
So I like the concept behind this song. I like how Yachty is Yachty has met up with PnB Rock. I've heard of him. First of all, I just want to touch upon that. I've heard of PnB Rock. I know he's got like this singy type talent. He's like got this R&B feel to him. But I haven't really checked him out. So to really go into him today was really something to hear. Anyway, to get back about the song. PnB Rock and Lil Yachty are in the chorus, basically breaking down how like they're kind of questioning the girls that they're hanging out with, that they're spending time with, if they're really ready to be with them in this famous world, kind of moving the same way that Yachty and PnB Rock move. And then it kind of flips in the verses, because then we get Yachty on the first verse, kind of like expressing how he likes spending time with her, how she's down for him, and that's why he likes spending time with her. He goes, I can change your life, gotta make sure that you're right for me, make your wildest dreams everyday reality. And it's like also kind of acknowledging her and making the girl who he's with acknowledge, like, I could do what you want me to do, but I also need you to kind of be the way I need you to be, or like you to be on my side, you know? He breaks down why, like I said, he's breaking down why he's messing around with this girl, and he doesn't want to leave her, and he enjoys it. But I think when they go back into the chorus, I think it's like there's this little bit of fear that it's because they're rich that they're with them. And that's what they're trying to get at. They're trying, like, are you really going to ride with me? Are you really, really, like, are you really with it with me? Or are you just with it for the money I got? And then we go into verse 2. We got PnB Rock. I like when he goes, all these camera lights, shawty, welcome to the life, all these diamonds, all this ice, shawty, I could treat you right. Again, it's like they're explaining, like, we could do this for you, but we're kind of, I feel like they're kind of scared, like, maybe not so much scared, but there is this doubt, like, are you really with it for us, you know? The song is great. The song is actually great. It's got a different feel to it. The pace to it is also different. It's not so like heavy and energetic. It's more like kind of relaxed and tone to it. So 4 on 5.
I'm so happy you had a lot to say there. I didn't like this one as much. I get it. This is that like softer side of Yachty. Bonnie happened to like a couple off of the last project and asked me to keep an eye out for any I thought she might like, and I felt this might be one.
She might like this one.
This is more of that singy, that niceness, that flowiness to it. There's a heh sound he makes at the second half of the end of his first verse, Yachty, and I don't like it. It was this weak little ad-lib that just took away from it. I don't know, it was this little subtle thing that I picked up that I found annoying, and it made me feel like Lil Yachty had less game. That was the impression I got. It's such a tiny detail. None of the lyrics struck me. It is what it is. You described the verses of the song quite well, but it just seems like a generic ride or die, nice sounding song, and its flow was proper or whatever, but man, did I find it boring. Maybe it's just not the kind of ride or die song I'm into or something, but
and, you know, I feel like if I could just like interject quick, I think it's because there isn't, I didn't get any like, would you do this for me? Like there wasn't any questioning, there wasn't like any depth to it.
I felt like this was a like these guys don't really believe what they're saying here. They're like when they go, I fuck 6 girls in the mansion, I believe them. But when he goes like, oh, are you sure you want to handle the life with me and stuff? And like, it's kind of like, you're like, sure. But I don't know. There's something about the way this song is put together that I found bland. I feel like it just didn't have the right, and it felt weird on this project too. I don't know. I gave it a 3.3. It's not bad. I just personally find this one a little bit boring, and I would probably skip over it most times it came on. I don't know. That's fine. You guys can have your own opinions on that. Let me know if you dug it, what you think is incredible about it. Meanwhile, we can move on to Love Me Forever.
Love me forever. Love me today. Love me today.
Okay, next song. Next lovey song.
I like this. I think like this is one of two things. I feel like this is either a follow-up to the last track in a sense where he's kind of like questioning like if they're, I think maybe they're breaking up, and he's like, you know, I want you to stay around, I want you to be here, please don't leave, you know, I'm heartbroken, all that sobby stuff. But then actually listening it over a second and a third time, it feels like Lil Yachty's just kind of taking a moment out of his day to acknowledge the girl he's with. It's a short little like minute and 45-second song, and he's basically just explaining like, you know, I got at one point I wish I quoted it, but he kind of like explains like how he got a new car, she got a new Gucci designer brand, and it's just all like it felt like he took a moment to just, I love you. I want you to be around. I appreciate you being in my life. And I thought that was really nice. I think that was really just honest and just pure of him to do. I like the piano. It was really on point with this song. His flow with this was very smooth, very with the melody of the track. I gave it a 4 on 5.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from more on this one. I felt this was a little more stand up. It was fun. It was almost cute is a good way to describe this song. Mm-hmm. That little chorus is like a mantra of sorts. Like you could see how girls will be singing along to that. How like you really did just stop and do that. I feel like the verse is a little more flexing than it is appreciation. Like you don't need to mention your car if you're appreciating her kind of thing. But it is kind of like, I can do all this for you, so love me today, love me forever.
Okay,
you know,
I see
it's kind of like, I can be this great guy, but I do think it is Yachty's version of what you're describing. It's just not my version of what you're describing.
Fair.
And that's cool. This one's a 3.75 to me. It's sweet. It's simple. Like if it came on and it has a playlist for it. This airy, fun, nice little jams playlist that needs to exist for it, and it belongs there and it'll work really well. In this album, I felt it to be very strange again, but that's okay. It's a decent song. I give it a 3.75 on 5. And yeah, so Das Cop. Oh, before we move on to Das Cop, speaking of, Love Me Forever and She Ready are 2 songs in little letters, and the rest are all in capitals. And that was fun to point out. So now we'll say Das Cop.
Well, actually, there's a little letter in a whole lot of GUAP. Lotta's in little.
Oh, you're right, but still. Interesting. If anyone knows anything about the capitalization of these songs, because I completely wasn't necessarily paying attention to it the way I should have. Well, I didn't really look into it. I just kind of noticed it. But if you know what it's about, like I thought maybe one is a boat, one is a yachty. I don't know. Let us know. That would be really cool of you.
Oh,
in the meantime, for the 3rd time, fuck, you can't even move on. Das Cop.
Yeah, it ain't got no ceiling, you mad like your feelings. Bitch, I ain't renting, I hop in the Bentley, yeah, it ain't got no ceilings.
It's not a bad track. The flow is great. The vibe to it, I guess, is great. But I don't really like the song. The intro is very clear. It kind of seems like the song's about talking about people who are fronting the lifestyle, acting like they got money, but when really they're broke. How they suddenly like they can act like they're balling, and I get it. They're talking about like fake people, and that's I understand that. But there wasn't really anything that really made me kind of talk about how other people are acting. Yachty just basically mentioned everything that he does, justifying that he's real and that everyone else is not doing what he's doing.
Yep, that's the song.
That's pretty much it. And then there's a little interlude in the middle, and you get like Yachty, like, oh, these people ain't really shooting.
Man, you ain't shooting at nobody, man. You shooting in the air, man. All these do is floss, fake, and beef through text, which I thought was interesting. Man, these is hoes. And it goes on a little bit more after that.
Right. I do like how he addressed like everybody talking shit about that and having all these like Twitter beefs and text messaging beefs and how it's changed over a little bit of the time. But then he comes in with the second verse, and now he's just trying to fuck a new girl, and he doesn't get why. And if people don't like it, then too bad. He's not really gonna care. And if you fuck with his money, he's gonna have to cut you or do what he has to do. So it's still like, I guess he's still just validating why he's real. It felt a little weak. I'm not gonna lie. Overall, the whole song just felt a little weak. It wasn't really captivating. I kind of just gave it a 3.
So, I mean, thematically, I'm appreciating, I guess, where he's coming from. Given that Lil Yachty is, in fact, real, assuming he's real, then it makes total sense where he's coming from. But I had a real problem with this one. I don't just dislike the beat. I fucking hate the beat. That grating, piercing noise that is there. It's like, I can see how maybe you can mash out to this and turn up in certain environments or whatever. But I just found it drowning out everything. It really almost put me in a worse mood as I was listening to it more and more. I don't know. I mean, I haven't found a beat I genuinely dislike to the extent I found this one. It really, I don't know. I don't have a lot of much else to say. He has the clear concept of the song. He comes in and raps over it, and I like the fact that it's structured interestingly, and it's almost like I wanted to like this one a little bit more, but I can't get past that beat. It's like it came on and it was just poison to my ears or whatever. So I gave it a 2.5 on 5 because I can respect the talent that going into this song in terms of him actually not sucking. But man, is this just unappealing to my ears, which is whatever. You can say that this shit just pop out at me.
2 to a 6, yo, serving these strip hoes dick, yo, yeah, you sucking me, yeah, and I know it.
All right, pop out. Did you like it?
This is nothing to me. I don't really know how to feel about it. It's okay. It's good, I guess. The verses are okay. It's kind of like, what are you gonna do? Somebody do something. Hope things pop off. I've got money. I've got cars. I'm sleeping with this one. Jban's, the only thing I found that stuck out to me was that Jban's claims that this sound that they're making is the new modern pop sound. I mean, I guess it is. Like nowadays, everyone's
It's a little bit of the pop sound, a little bit.
yeah. So that was cool that he acknowledged that. But other than that, there was really nothing to this song that really got to me. The pop out repeatedly got annoying to me. The beat wasn't even that intense or didn't even captivate me. I left it at a 3. I left it as a 3 because they can rap and they both have skill and they have that flow, but it's just boring.
All right. So there's one thing I'm going to quote here. What's up with that fuck shit? And that's how I feel about this song. This song is trash. I haven't said that very often on this podcast because I try to find the best in things, but I don't like this at all. If I thought the last beat was bad, this one's actually worse. It's more annoying. I also can see how if I'm fucking drunk and I'm moshing out, this is a fight song. Okay. But it's a bad fight song. There's so many other ones that are good. Yes, the two dudes are proficient, which is why I don't think it's like a complete piece of shit song. I think that Yachty does his thing. I think the other guy does his thing. I don't really have... I'm not judging the lyrics too harshly or anything, but there was like nothing here for me. The flows weren't that interesting to me. The beat was genuinely offensive to me. I'm like, I don't want to sound like a negative Nilly, but I give this a 2. I didn't get a 1 because they could rap, but that's it. Like, they can do it. It's like they showed up and they can do it. And I'm so happy that the rest of the album didn't sound like this because, man, at this point, I got nervous. This is like, I don't even know if I've given 2 2s out before in a row like this. Like, this was just like I was feeling this album, and then these 2 tracks came. Now, to just comment on that a little bit before we move on, it is cool that Lil Yachty has so many different styles and sounds. The fact that we have this album experience or mixtape experience where I can listen to a few and love them and then have a few hates them means that somebody out there might be completely the opposite of me and loving these ones and hating the other ones. And I respect that. I respect that he has that versatility. Unfortunately, this just might be one of the worst songs we've covered. This is my least favorite song that I've heard in 2018 so far.
Jeez.
Anyway, NBA YoungBoat.
Flood coming, stop with a tick when
I'm
you pull
with
up
a
on.
38, baby. My neck see more water than a Navy.
Next one.
So we've got
YoungBoy Never Broke Again.
and we've got Lil Yachty, and basically it's another back-to-back track. You've got Lil Yachty spitting a verse, you've got YoungBoy spitting a verse, and they just keep going back and forth. Now, the first verse is from YoungBoy, and I do like when he goes, always held my own since I jumped off the porch. And it kind of gave me this setup to what the song is going to be about. And, of course, more money, more I've got this, I've got that, more of that, just the generic type of lyrics that we've been getting. But the flows are good. The way they bounce off of each other, the energy they both have on this song is really great. And that's what I think is part of this like whole experience, is that you're not really supposed to pay attention to the lyrics half the time. You're supposed to get into that that groove or that vibe where
that is 100% the point.
Right? Other than that, I mean, they go back. There's about 6 verses in this song. And it's kind of just the same stuff throughout the track. But the beat's banging. It was more captivating than the previous one. So I left it at a 4 on 5.
To give it credit, it's not just like it's 6 verses. It's like from a flow perspective and like the way they're delivered, it's like 6 unique experiences, which is really impressive, and they bounce off each other really well. Lil Yachty does some weird voice in the middle, which reminded me of Nicki Minaj, and I thought that was kind of fun. But lyrically, very little of this song stood out to me because it is just kind of, I guess, what I would consider to be generic, and it's not my cup of tea, but the flows were really nice. The energy and the beat were a lot better compared to the last two. It was like an oasis. It was like we left the desert of awful and we're in good music again. Mm-hmm. My favorite line in this was definitely, "You gon' get shot like the Kennedys," because like I never hear that. Usually you hear dead Kennedys is money or whatever. No, like This is like presidential assassination and his brother, they got shot. It's cool. I mean, it's a cool bar to me. Maybe you don't like it. If you guys do like some of these bars, if you want to explain them to me in like the comment, give me a little explanation about why it's cool. It could help me understand in the future, so that the next time I encounter some of this stuff, I'm a little less ignorant with it. Because that's part of my problem. I just don't identify with this life in any way. They're super rich, they're super flossy, and I don't know how hard or not they are, really. It just kind of sounds like they play on the side of legitimate claims, but generally, if you look at Lil Yachty in an interview, he looks like the nicest, fucking happiest guy ever. It's just, like he doesn't sound like this hard guy, which is why it's cool. I get that this is a character he's created and he's playing into a part and stuff, but in general, I like the energy on the songs. I think this guy is an interesting musician. I don't know, do you have anything more here?
Not much.
Mickey is the next one.
Goddamn, think I need a new hobby. Bought a chain, could've bought a Bugatti. Niggas dig riding with.
Right. How do you feel about this collaboration featuring Lil Baby and everybody's second favorite Migos, I feel, Offset?
I like the beat. So the beats, and I'm gonna say this, the beats are consistently good. Some beats I'll admit I haven't liked them, but there's not one that's been like completely like one, I would say. Like it would the beat would bring it up the track to up a 2 and keep it there, maybe even a 2.5. So throughout the album, he does have great beats on this. Offset starts off right away with the first verse, and straight off, I thought he sounded like it was the Narcos flow.
Oh yeah,
kind of got that right off. I thought like this was like a dumbed down version of Narcos a little bit, like the beat even as well. So when he was just like trapping out the back streets, I didn't even write it, but he was like, so again, it's Offset. Because I wrote trapping out the back streets and breaking down that he will shoot you, and I'm basically just explaining his verse, and he's basically doing what Offset usually does. I'm whipping it in the kitchen. I will shoot you if you fuck with me.
Doesn't he make a stir fry reference on this?
He does make a stir fry reference, but it's very common for them to kind of shout out their hot songs. On verse 2, I forgot to write it down, but I can't remember if it's Yachty or if it's no, it is Yachty, and he goes, Peter Piper, pull up with a new pistol, pew pew, door knocked down, that's dust crystals. I like the way that sounded.
I feel like a few people have made Peter Piper lines recently, or maybe we've just encountered a few in the last little while.
I think we've just encountered a few. And then third verse with Lil Baby proceeded to express how he's pissed off that he missed $1 million robbery that he couldn't attend to, but then proceeds to go and make money somewhere else. So I guess he's got to stay on that grind. He's questioning people on why they're acting hard, and they're not really like stepping to him, and they're probably mad at him because he's sleeping with their women. And I mean, it's a hype track, but I wasn't just overly impressed with it. I mean, they all flow really well. The style and the flair is there, but lyrically, I'm just kind of like, okay, this could have been anything else. 3.9 on 5.
I like this one a little bit. It's got a good energy to it. I can say something. At least when we know that one of the Migos is going to be on the track, the beat's going to be on the better side of things because it's going to flow in that general sound they have. I've never heard of Lil Baby. Lil Baby's verse was okay. I think Lil Baby is one of the funniest fucking names we've encountered so far. It's just hard to picture. Somebody called Lil Baby is hard, but that's just me, and I don't mean to be offensive to anybody. It's just a little bit of a funny name. It's a little funny to be a Lil Baby, you know? That's what I picture. But lyrically, you're right. I mean, we've said it on almost every song. It's not what it's about. The flows are pretty cool. Same kind of deal as most of the other tracks. I mean, I think this is about the 12th one on the album. And yeah, I'm still interested in listening more, and I want to give that some credit. So I have to say, since this revival past that Desert of Awful, it's kind of picked up a little bit, and I'm really back into it. Like my party's back to being a little bit bumping. I like when I think it's Yachty's like these weird, they talk too much, all these socialists holding on tight to my bragging rights, I write my name on the mogul list. And I feel like the implication with this line is that the way that the people share their opinions and words so freely, they're acting in the manner of a socialist and just giving away to everybody for the whatever. And it's interesting because the only other person I heard made a line like that ever really was Dave Duchovny on his most recent rock album. So, and he made like he had a line where he made a communism joke, but in the same vein of it. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Otherwise, I found Offset to be standard. Now that I hear it, I hear the Narcos flow. To be fair, the Narcos song is just playing in my head as I'm talking now. I kind of, I give this one a 4. It's everything I would expect it to be, while not sucking or exceeding my expectations. Really, it's pretty good. Next up on this album, it's I believe another solo Lil Yachty experience. FWM.
Yeah, bought the 2 hoes in the Lambo, yeah. Paint on the face like Rambo, yeah. Tell me a place that
I might have to correct myself on something I said a little earlier, but this is garbage. This beat is trash. This flow is trash. This lyrics are trash. He mumbles the entire way through. I played it almost 3-4 times, and it just gave me the same feeling of I don't know what you're saying. I'm not really interested in hearing this track. Nothing is captivating about it. I left it at a 2.
That's fair. I don't dislike it as much as you. I am 100% convinced Papa is worse than this. But I do. It's because there's a couple of things. There's at least one lyric I liked in this song, right? So this one is a bit of a solo flex. It's a shorter song, a couple minutes, and he kind of runs through this verse. I think it's like chorus, verse, chorus on this one. You know, quicker one, and he runs through. And the one line I really liked was, "I don't even want to fuck the bitch. I do, but I know she gonna tell." And I was like, you know, I get where he's coming from. You see somebody you want to smash. Maybe you have a girlfriend or something. Or maybe she has a boyfriend or something. Maybe you just want to keep it on the low. And she fine and she down, but you know that her, according to her Twitter, you'll be there tomorrow. And you know, so you keep it in your pants for the sake of your reputation. And the fact that this 20-year-old kid has that wisdom, I appreciate that. It's a good thing to have as a celebrity, I guess. So I dug that line. Otherwise, my biggest criticism of this song is, what's the difference between the verse and the chorus, really? Yeah. There are a few flow differences, you could say, but check it. Verse 1 had no ad-libs. The chorus had ad-libs. So I'm thinking, okay, the ad-libs have a difference. But no, verse 2 has ad-libs, so that went out the window. And it's just like, it's so hard to tell when the chorus starts. I mean, you can tell when certain lyrics are repeating themselves, but that kind of took away a little bit of the charm of this for me. So 3.25 on 5. I think it's better. I think it's a decent song. It's just kind of a little bit better than boring for me. There's definitely no flexing happening on that one.
Flex for the fuck boys, hate cause you suck, boy. Flex for the fuck boys.
So I like this song. I like this song a little bit better. I like the beat a little bit better than the last one. I like I like the vibe to it. I like how he's basically just saying fuck the haters again, but instead of haters,
he's just gonna flex on a fuckboy.
Yeah, he's gonna call him a fuckboy. It's more catchy. It's a little bit more energetic, and I enjoy that. I like when he goes, fuck that bitch, Netflix and chill, let me crack like a seal, I got serving deals too, that shit is real, while till I'm killed, give a fuck about how you feel. And I like how he certain things he says, he puts that emphasis, and he wants it to be known that he's not trying to be fucked around with, and that he should just be able to do what he want to do. And if that means that he's gonna Netflix and chill, well, he should be able to Netflix and chill. Other than that, I mean, the whole song is basically I'm better than you and you're a fuckboy, so that's kind of saying it all. The beat's good. It's not like the greatest thing, but it's good. It's not something that gets annoying. So I left the song at a 3.9.
Fair enough. I feel like this song has a swag to it. I know I saw on the internet today nobody says swag anymore, but that's the best way to describe it. Like you just picture him flossing, the nonchalance. This almost a grace to the way he describes. Like it rolls off his tongue. It's a bit repetitive, but it's okay because he's just flexing on the fuckboys, and I feel him. As he was singing this song, I realized there are many things that people are using to describe Lil Yachty. It's safe to say I don't think this dude's a fuckboy. That's what I'm going to say about that. This one had like a really random line, like R.I.P. to Kurt Cobain, 1993. I bring the pain, and it's like, wait, what? Like, why the random R.I.P. to Kurt Cobain? Like, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe he feels some affinity or connection to him. Maybe he feels like a rock star. I mean, but I don't know. That just caught me off guard. And then random, I think is Wu-Tang Bring That Pain. I might be wrong about that, but it's just so strange to me. I don't even think Cobain died in 93. Like I might be wrong about that. He might have died in 93. In general, I thought that was the strangest thing I encountered in a minute on this album. The beat's good, the whatever. It's a 3.75. This is on the more I could vibe to it side of things, not on the more boring side. That's cool. The next track though, it has a whole lot of GUAP.
Yeah, eat it up, huh? Upgrade the whip, had to lift it up. Brother locked up, he will whip it up.
A whole lot of honeys, and they are not able to touch him.
So, okay. I don't like this song either. It's very annoying. He repeats GUAP so many times. And I on a positive note, I do like the creativeness that he has with the weird trippy sound to it. He has this, like, the way he kind of bounces around on the flow. It's good, but there's just better songs that he's made on this album than this, and this is just another I've got a lot of money. Everything he said we've already heard before. It's just there wasn't anything that made it different. So I also found he sounded like Migos without having Migos on it. So he's just sounding like Migos. So I left it at a 2.5.
That's fair. Standard song on the more rappy side of things, less of the singy side of things. There was one lyric that caught me, and I'm not in the best position to have an opinion on it, so I wanted to ask you, the internet, how you felt about this line from Lil Yachty. I'm in the basement like Tigger, keep in mind the hard R. Hey, this little white bitch called me with the hard R. Look as she don't call me broke, long as she don't call me broke, dick in her throat till she choke. Ooh. So, as I understand it, this white girl was quite disrespectful to him, and he's okay with it in terms of attacking his race in that regard, as long as she doesn't call him broke and sucks his dick. So, I'm not, again, like, I'm not the most qualified person to really have an opinion here, but it just seems like a strange line to throw in 2018, I guess. But because it's not really like he's saying his position is it's not really an issue to him if she sucks his dick. But if she doesn't suck his dick, then it's an offensive thing. So I feel like that's an interesting place to draw the line. And I wanted to know what all your opinions were. Honestly, has that happened to you? Have you had a girl use that word and because she filleted you, you gave her a pass? I would like to know how realistic that scenario seems to be. Anyway, all in all, it's a decent song to me. I give it a 3.5. It's on the more fun side of this album. And yeah, sorry if we're going quick. It's just hard. Like, I do a lot of the deep dive lyrical stuff. It's just not happening on this album. The flows are very, like, by this point, he's gotten 5 or 6 really main things he's done, and there's not a lot of newness happening, but it doesn't make it less fun or less worth listening to. Anyway, you got another collab song coming up. It's going to be my first real Lil Pump experience, Baby Daddy.
Riding made back, not on my stain, not on her face. Fuck up her veins, stretch laminate.
So I just want to start off with, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but is Yachty killing a girl in the first chorus?
I have no idea.
I honestly think that he's killing a girl.
He kind of alludes to it, I think.
Like that's just right off the bat. I was like, I don't understand how you're calling the title name of the song and the way you're starting it is just kind of freaking me out right now. Then actually that's the verse. That's the verse, or
the really, really short verse.
Right. Then on verse 2 we have Little Pump, and I don't really quite understand what this song's about. I don't know if they're trying to tell you that your baby daddy's garbage,
yes,
or that they're better than them because they're on drugs, money, they're sleeping with other women, and that's why they're better than your baby daddy.
Mostly that they have the money and drugs part.
Oh, okay. And then on verse 3 we've got Offset said nothing virtually interesting again, just does what he does, and the hook was, I guess the hook was supposed to represent how they feel about the woman's baby daddies. I guess that's
the real crux of the song delivered.
Yep. So 215. That was no.
I like that more. First of all, Lil Pump just grew on me a little bit. I didn't hate his verse. He had a couple of interesting lines like, "Your girl gave me top, then you go and kiss her." Damn. I mean, that is a damn moment. It's like, if my girl cheats on me and gives somebody else top, better brush your damn teeth or something. That's all I'm saying. So just like the blatant disregard of whatever his flamboyant style, I actually kind of appreciated that. Like, it's not necessarily new or unique for a rapper to be fucking my girlfriend, but at least he's really rubbing it home, and I got to kiss some spermy other man's breath. And that, you know, I'm certain it's not even new or fresh, but it's relatively, for me, new and fresh. But he follows it up with, "Yeah, I walked in and I'm dripping," which I think is like covered in diamonds and shit.
Yep.
It's Fiji, which is fancy water. And I really dug the line. And if you click the Genius annotation, it's the goofiest picture of Lil Pump holding a bottle of Fiji. And I encourage you to do that. This song was better than I thought it would be. I was all ready to be like, "Oh, Lil Pump, fuck that guy." Because, you know, he's got the reputation for just saying Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang a bunch. But really, the guy's got more words than just repeating himself over and over again. You want to talk about repeating themselves over and over again? That Rihanna and Calvin Harris song is the actual 56% of the words in that song is Rihanna saying the same word over. That is repeating herself. Now, Lil Pump had a decent verse. He's got that one flow I've ever heard him do, which is cool. That's his thing. And I gave it a 3.5. I was like, it's not my cup of tea, but I can see how these guys will get better, even if they're young and they're rich and they're rapping about what I would probably be doing. Like, fuck, if I was 20 and I had a milli, I don't know what kind of shenanigans I'd be getting up to.
Oh, Jesus.
But like the part where 6 girls were in the room might not be that far-fetched is all I'm trying to say. Sorry, Bonnie. So next one is 66.
Oh, that hatred go right to your fucking kidney. Flexing bands, Lord, nigga.
Favorite part of this song is when he goes, "Bad bitch, bubble butt." It's just the way he says it with the perfect alliteration. I know it's whatever, but he says it so nice. "Bad bitch, bubble butt." Like, it's just this is the fun Yachty that everybody likes. Anyway, go on, Chris.
Well, I enjoyed this song. I think that as a final song on the album, it was a positive vibe to it. It was happy. And they're talking about the same stuff. They got money. They're living life. They're enjoying it. Trippie Redd did great. I've heard Trippie Redd before on certain songs.
Sounds like Drake, no?
A little bit,
Well, at least
but
on
I feel
this
like,
particular song, I felt like it was like I was
but he's got a
listening to
certain hit of auto tune that changes it though.
But like it was a Drake flow, but a little bit, yeah, I guess a little different.
But I mean, essentially, they're just saying that they're going to be balling until they're 66, and they're going to be making money. And even I think there's like a hint of, even if I were to pass before that, you'll still be playing my music until like till everyone else is like 66 or until you're 66. So it's this like powerful, I guess this powerful, like, I believe in myself, I know I can make it to this type song. I give it a 4 on 5. The beat was good. The energy to it was good. Both artists did great. It was just good.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard Trippie Redd before. I've seen the name. Guys like CDTV Productions and Blackie Speaks have mentioned them, so I try to stay up to date with those guys, and just so I can hear these names and know who they are when I see them. And I like the flow and the vibe of this. This is a really good album closer for this one. It's got this happy, upbeat kind of feel to it. And considering some of the other ones on this album, like it's a good place to end. It's really similar to the kind of upbeat, airy feel of the opening track too. So it kind of almost takes you full circle in terms of sound. The lyrics bored me. There wasn't a lot going on there outside of that "bad bitch bubble butt," and it was really the way he said it, and but that's okay because it had this airy flow to it. I've never heard Trippie Redd before, like I said, but he sounded good. I know I kind of said he had the Drake flow, but that doesn't mean it was a bad thing. It was he had like this good voice with Yachty. Like, he's the first guy on the album who collaborated with Yachty here, where I'm kind of like, I really hope they do more together. which is, I guess, a sentence I never thought I'd say, that I want to see Yachty and Trippie Redd do a collab in the future, but I kind of do. I think they have a really good swag together, a really good like synergy of a similar sound. Like Yachty's voice a little rougher, Trippie's a little smoother, but together they're in the same realm of interesting. All that to say, this is a good one. If this came on, I'd vibe to it. It's a 4. It's a decent track. Anyway, I guess that's it though, because 17 tracks later, we're at the end of this album. I gave this a 3.64. It is definitely one of the lowest grades I've given out in an album, but I also don't think it's like an insult to the album so much. This is fluff party music, and for that purpose, I think it's a really good album. It's, for the most part, something you can hit play on, and with the exception of maybe a couple of songs, it can serve as a good hour-long portion of your, 40 minutes of your party, get cleaned up, and you all can just have a good vibe to it. Like, there's no negativity, really. Even when there's kind of negativity, it's a little defensive. Not any of these songs are really something I'm going to go back to, and that's just a style thing. I am happy that I listened to this album, however, because I really like the general sound. There's something here, and if they had lyrics I could get behind, I'd bump this shit every day kind of thing. Not every day, but there are a couple of these ones. If I could give me something like this with something that I could really relate to, I'd appreciate it a lot more. Anyway, what about you? How do you feel?
Honestly, I feel the same way. You really laid down what I actually have to feel about the album. I gave it a 3.4. I enjoy, like I said, I enjoy the consistency of the trap beats. I enjoy that sound. I enjoy, what Migos does. I enjoy what Lil Yachty does. It was nice to see. It was nice to hear Trippie Redd again. I've heard certain songs from him. It was the features that were on it were cool to have. But again, I wouldn't really go back to it because of the style. I think that once they've gotten a little older, like he's only 20, right? So once they've gotten a little older and they've started, like, I think things are starting to change. Maybe like they sign a really big deal, they start building something, start creating something, right? More than what they've done now.
They're definitely doing that now.
Well, right, but I mean, like, I don't see Yachty opening up a fucking store right now. Like in the next 3 years, if he opens up his own clothing line, maybe
that is definitely something I see Yachty doing in the next really near future. He's that kind of guy, I think.
Okay.
Plus, he's got $12 million. If he's not doing that, I'll be shocked.
Well, anyway, I do enjoy the sounds on the album, but I think that I'm looking for more lyrical. There's something more than just, we get it, you're rich.
To be fair, if you're turned up at 2 in the morning, you might not feel the same.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Really appreciate you having here with us.
Let us know what you like about the new setup, actually.
Yeah, if you guys feel it. I think you'll really see the benefit once we have more people. As you can see, well, there's no mic there, but we'll be good for 4 people, which is cool. We've never been able to support 4 before. Anyway, new sound card up in here. Everything's upgraded. And but that's for you guys, because we really appreciate you. We wanted to give you a better product, something stronger. We could actually relax. We're not sitting on the edge of a couch. I'm going to say that a while because I feel appreciation for that. Anyway, let us know in the comments how you felt about the review, anything, this album. If you're a Lil Yachty fan, why? If not, what are your favorite projects by him? What are your least favorite? Let's have a little conversation in the comments. Also, I answer everybody, and you enter into the contest if you also subscribe and like the video.
Well, I also wanted to just leave off on one more thing. If possible, if there happens to be a Headspace album, since we always do end up...
new album.
Right, a new Headspace album that's going to be coming out, but there happens to be two albums at the same time. Let us know which one you want us to review that week.
So how about you just let us know what upcoming albums this year you care about is a better way to put it. Mm-hmm. If we're on the fence, we'll ask you ahead of time if we're not certain. Often we'll just pick based on a schedule. In this case, it was between Logic and Lil Yachty, and soon we'll be in a place where maybe we can have a little more chatting happening. We can post it over on Twitter. Let us know what platform you think would be best for us to communicate with you, because YouTube is currently not the best for in the week communication. We do have a Twitter at Behind That Suit. We do have a Facebook at facebook.com/Behind That Suit, and if y'all come and actually interact with us there, I'll make the effort to include you more in the decision process. Definitely. And we can make it like if you come and comment, your vote gets counted or something. Anyway, we have some stuff in mind for how to handle requests moving forward, and we'll let you know later on as we develop this stuff and roll it out to you. 2018 is going to be a complete year of growth, so that by 2019, everybody's loving it more.
There we go.
Have yourselves a great week, everyone. I'll see you on my next video. You know I do a lot of these, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, everyone.
Take
Bye.
it easy, guys.